The green trailer has been released in recent days. The second season of House of the Dragon has released 2 official trailers. The green trailer begins with Alicent saying that the realm was peaceful while Viserys was alive. She claims that Viserys knew the country would not accept a female queen, so he appointed Aegon as his successor. This happened when Viserys started discussing the prophecy of the prince, which he promised on his deathbed, with Alicent, mistaking it for a reference to her son Aegon. Alicent's misunderstanding has prompted her to grab the throne from Rhaenyra. Viserys never intended to leave the throne to their son. Various sequences depict the kingdom's new use of green flags and the transformation of King's Landing due to the Green's dominance over the region. We watch a situation in which Aegon ignores Otto and sits on the throne, and Otto is unhappy with Aegon. Finally, we see a scorpion, the weapon handed Cersei to defeat Daenerys' dragons. We first encountered this weapon on Game of Thrones during the Dance of the Dragons, and we could potentially uncover its inventor. This relates the House of the Dragon series to Game of Thrones, which is a fairly fascinating allusion. We witness Otto explain that Rhaenyra's side is now acting out of revenge, and Alicent is quite concerned. This could happen if they learn what happened between Lucerys and Aemond. We observe 2 guys enter what appear to be tunnels in King's Landing. I believe it must be blood and cheese, and that it will inflict a deep wound in the heart of the Greens, making peace impossible after blood and cheese. We hear Aegon say that if someone conspires against him, he will repay them 100 times over. This scene could occur after Aegon discovers the first attack from Rhaenyra's side. We see as he removes his armor, and eventually we behold his dragon Sunfire, the most beautiful dragon in Targaryen history. Although we don't get to see him up close, it's wonderful to know that he'll eventually make it to the screen. Alicent informs Aegon that so much has been sacrificed to place him on the throne. It's probable that Aegon is acting recklessly and refuses to follow commands from anyone. It has slipped out of Otto and Alicent's grasp, and they have no idea what to do. We show what seems to be Caraxes at Storm's End, as well as a clip of Daemon from the previous film in what appears to be King's Landing. However, others have speculated that it could be Harrenhal, Daemon's first conquest. But we hear Aemond say that he's looking forward to facing his uncle if he dares to do so. He says this to Sir Criston Cole, who is likely warning him of the hazards of confronting Daemon. The duel between these 2 is much anticipated. However, Otto mentions that they will have to use violence to achieve peace, to which Aegon responds, "Well, let's go to war." We see several war scenarios, including Vhagar in the air, a company of knights headed by Sir Criston Cole, and scenes from Alicent and Helena's burial. We observe Alicent in a depressed mood, explaining that she has spent her entire life serving the kingdom, but nothing has mattered in the end. Alicent failed to defend her family and is now in a direct conflict with her best friend. Alicent is in a no-win situation and must deal with the consequences of others' actions. We conclude the trailer with Princess Helena's dragon, Dreamfire. This dragon was rarely employed in the Dance of the Dragons since its rider, Helena, was hidden in her room, grieving the loss of her family members. Of course, the first season revealed that Helena is a dreamer, meaning she can see the future through dreams, and it's possible that she's not using her dragon because she's using other types of powers, similar to Bran Stark's transformation into Three-Eyed Raven. This glimpse reveals 2 intriguing features in the Greens. On the one hand, Alicent feels depressed and saddened by Rhaenyra's situation and the death in her family. We see an Aegon who is skeptical about the probability of war and takes his armor to battle. We see how he has escaped from Alicent's grasp and is now the one attempting to seize leadership of the conflict. Aegon's narrative reminded me of Joffrey's. When they placed the crown on his head, they lost control of his activities. Alicent has no way of stopping Aegon, who is becoming a menace. I think this clip for the green side is pretty emotive, and it depicts them in defense mode. They are clearly attempting to halt Rhaenyra's advances, and the conflict has already begun. I would have loved to see more of Helena and Aemond, but they must be keeping their best moments for the series. The main character in the trailer was Aegon, but we also saw how Kristen Cole is preparing Aemon to meet Daemon. The battle for the throne has commenced, threatening to demolish the House of the Dragon's foundation, split the Seven Kingdoms into two factions, and claim millions of lives in a conflict that started with a string of mishaps and won't cease until the kingdom and the family face utter destruction. Following the release of the green and black trailers, HBO produced another trailer that combined the two trailers and added additional scenes, serving as the whole trailer for the upcoming season.